So that actually brings up a good question, which is what should EU companies be thinking about to get compliant here?
I think the key thing clearly is that they have to get a system that enables them to pass data to the regulators. So even if you're a virtual drug company with no manufacturing of your own, if you're the license holder, then you have the obligation to report your data to the authorities. So that means you need a software system. You can't delegate that responsibility to anybody else. So you need the ability to receive and, if necessary, send data to and from and report out to the regulators. And you need to do that in a way that is consistent, high quality, validated in all of the usual manners. This is a fundamental change in the way the drug industry does its business. Before, we made things that were physical, you could hold them, and they were all the same within a batch. There was no differentiation. Tomorrow, we make things that are physical but also virtual. The data has to match the box, and each pack along the production line is a different thing. So if an operator takes one out, when you've aggregated a box, it changes the universe for that data. So it's a training challenge. There's lots of other challenges apart from the technology challenge to get this done.
Right, which brings up another question. So many of the larger manufacturers have already kind of moved down the path and are certainly thinking about this, if not rolling out a plan for this. But how about the smaller companies and the virtual manufacturers? What should they be thinking about?
I think they should be thinking about what's their total burden to get this done. How much bandwidth do they have internally? Think about, when choosing a provider, what's my side of the deal? Am I going to have to employ a project manager? Is it going to take 9 months? Think it through and figure out what they can afford to do. The compliance obligation is non-negotiable. They have to get this done somehow. But, for example, at rfxcel, we can get this done within 60 business days.
Right.
So that's a big difference to many of the suppliers I've seen, where typically their Gantt charts stretch out for 5 or 6 months.
Right.
So I think we need to educate people that this doesn't need to be as painful as the common perception. It's a tricky, complicated challenge, but there are people who know how to do it.
Yeah. Well, that actually is an interesting point, because one of the things I think that we pride ourselves here at rfxcel in doing is that we like to take that burden away from the customer and actually help them with their data validation, managing their data, managing their trading partners in terms of what's necessary to gather information from them or pass information to them, and basically try to be that so-called white glove solution provider. So I certainly appreciate the fact that smaller and virtual entities are going to be very interested in that type of service. Because there are others out there that require them to really get their hands dirty and really get into this, which means having the staff to do that.
Well, that's great if you're a big drug company. You have a team of people with serialization in their job title. If you're a small company, you've probably got a head of manufacturing who wears 15 different hats.
Right.
And one of the hats they have this year is serialization. So they're not going to have the time to really get involved and roll their sleeves up and getting the job done. So we as solution providers need to make it as pain-free as possible for them to get ready.
Right.
Otherwise, they're just going to fail.
Yeah.
That's not in anyone's interest.